Hello once again, Retro Gamers. You're listening to Luke, aka Retro Guy, and I welcome you back to the ever-developing world of CelesSteel. Myself and the Retrolution Games team have made great progress on the project since our last video, and today I'd like to talk a little bit more about our comic book debut, due for release this autumn, and give a better impression of the storyline. Our story takes place in the coastal city of Magpul, better known by its sinister nickname, Murder City, due to the unusually high number of unsolved homicides and missing persons cases. However, our heroes have received a tip-off that their sworn enemy, the evil billionaire arms tycoon Mandred Stanning, has a secret chemical weapons facility hidden in the city, and an explanation for these crimes suddenly becomes very clear. The story is told at a brisk pace in order to quickly introduce the various characters as the plot unfolds. As mentioned in the previous video, the character designs and settings have been conceived to be reminiscent of old Saturday morning action cartoons, though we've approached the story with a slightly grittier feel in order to better appeal to an older audience, and the scenarios our heroes find themselves in frequently feature a number of more adult-oriented scenes. The reason for this is that despite those old cartoons still remaining charming to this day, you have to remember that they were written for children, and the simplicity of those stories and situations won't necessarily be as relevant to the older audience. So we've tried to appeal to both younger and mature readers and attempt to offer the best of both worlds. In keeping with this cartoon theme, the comic has a heavy emphasis on visual appeal and sharp, colourful imagery and fast-paced action sequences. We wanted the comic to be as much fun to look at as it is to read, and everything moves along at a nice, brisk pace in order to keep the story developing. The antagonists of our tale are the aforementioned Mandred Stanning and the foul-mad scientist Negelroch. The major villains of CelesSteel have each been designed and developed to feel like an ensemble cast, similar to the Sinister Six, where each of them is a distinct and unique character, and a serious threat in their own right, although they will frequently team up on many of their nefarious schemes, sharing their abilities in order to cause ever greater dangers for our heroes. Mandred Stanning is an evil and capitalistic arms tycoon. He takes the greatest pleasure in manipulating others, and is utterly motivated by greed and personal gain. Without so much as a single shred of morality or empathy, he sees the world and the people in it as belonging to men of wealth and power, namely himself, and where anything and anyone can be bought or sold, and always for his own personal profit. The raging war cries of men, the anguished wails of their widows, and the tears of their orphaned children are the lifeblood of men like Mandred Stanning. A frequent collaborator in Mandred Stanning's schemes, Negelroch embodies the dangers of unchecked, unethical science. Whilst he does possess a genius-level understanding of science and anatomy, like Stanning, he is entirely without ethics or empathy, and views anatomy as his personal plaything, poking and prodding life like a kid stabbing at an anthill with a stick. In spite of his intellect, however, he is possessed of a limited attention span, and so his creations are often slapped together and ramshackled, such as the crumbling monstrosities, the Negelborgs, and the eerily toy-like hair gyros, as he rapidly abandons one clumsy, half-finished work, his curiosity leaping from one area to another. Perhaps his most distinctive and disturbing quality, however, is that he is also infected with an incurable, decaying virus of his own making, which he became infected with long ago. As a result, Negelroch has a constantly ill and sickly demeanour, accompanied by a rasping, coughing voice, and a foul stench that follows wherever he goes, and he is forced to rely upon a cocktail of virulent and highly toxic compounds in order to keep himself functioning. There are a large number of Easter eggs to discover throughout the comic, making a number of modern and retro pop culture references, such as the twins Gem and Eli's debut scene, which is an affectionate pastiche of the legendary Streets of Rage series, as they give the scav punks of Murder City a beating, before they are attacked by another of Negelroch's many abominable creations, the massive and monstrous Gutwheeler. In the next video, I'd like to go into more detail on the individual members of CelesSteel and talk a little bit more about their personalities and background stories, as well as the thought processes that went into designing each of them. I'll be doing them 3 at a time, so name your favourites in the comments section below, and the 3 with the most votes I'll cover in the next video. Thanks again for watching, folks, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Ciao for now.